Oh, g'day. It's Bushtralian Jim here, and I've got a suspicious observer video that's just been released, and it's a trailer for a film that's coming out. And I thought the music is, I've turned the music down, it's a bit excitable, but I thought I'd give a bit of a commentary if I slow it down onto half speed and play it and give a bit of a commentary of or explanation of what's going on there, just because a lot of people wouldn't understand what all that imagery is all about, and there's a lot of science that goes into it all. So I press play now and go at half speed. So there's the sun, and that's the center of our universe, and spewing out every element known to man on the periodic table. There's some digital art, and there's Van Allen belts being pushed from the solar winds and stretched out on the other side of the planet. That's magnetic field lines. So what you see here is a tsunami, and that's coming from seismic activity. They were seeing what would be a solar micronova or a coronal mass ejection. You see the planes landing their belly into the sea would soon be followed by massive seismic activity in such an event where we have solar flare, seismic activity, volcanoes, earthquakes, switching of the magnetic fields of the Earth, all happening at the same time while we move through the galactic current sheet. See? So here's the earth.nulschool.net. There's a fantastic resource that should check to make that your home screen. That's what I make as my home screen, my home page, and tells you everything you need to know. What we're seeing here is a star being born, essentially, and then the accumulation, and then boom, bursting into life. Here we've got the observer bot. Now, the observer bot is the AI technology focused just on the content that Ben Davidsons put together over the years. It is very smart indeed. It is very smart. It can answer all your questions. The Observer Ranch is a fantastic thing that got up and running last year, and that's a place where you can go and plug your motorhome into power and be around observers. Here's another example of how cataclysmic the event's going to be. This is just from what's going on the planet, not even from a meteorite striking the planet. Just as the seismic activity and the magnetic crust dislodge, and there can be all kinds of other things. This is representing that the ocean will cover continents, and then it's also going to wash back again. So it's going to be pretty messy. It's going to be a pretty messy kind of scenario. And then we could have this is talking about how good the channel is. It's talking about every day you get the best information in the world, and you get 3 articles a day from Ben, the top articles, and if you go and read them and you go follow up on them and check that out, and then do your own research around that, and take 60 hours out of your week to stay up to date with him, because that's what he's doing. Here we go, the Van Allen belts and magnetic field lines coupling, making toroidal field, and they're switching in between. As the polarity reverses, it gets a little bit complicated. Now that's going to make the inside of the Earth become the outside of the Earth in some places, and the tallest mountains might be underwater. The seismic activity for something like that spreads out. We're looking about magnitude 8 or 9 there. Convergence lines here coming over, forming very cold and dry air that comes straight in, focus in certain areas, which you see a lot in North America. There's beautiful solar flare. That'd be an M class. I'd say maybe in X range. And what we get here is there could be a lot of life on that piece of rock there, and it comes into the solar rays of different solar winds, and then comes activated and warmed up, and can spend quite a bit of time just sort of dropping off spores all over the place. This is electricity. Now you see how that's flowing because it wants to meet with the polarity. Incidentally, that's how electricity flows, and that's how water flows. Water is pure electricity, and electricity will follow water if it's on the other side of a glass sheet, for instance. And it looks like that's probably like a block of hydrogen or something like that. Very simple. And here we go. This is a really good one. So it goes upwards, so it's shown. And we got about 6 miles below that surface ground there. and we go all the way up. And we get into the troposphere, so that's where we live. So it's tropical. It's a good place to be. Stratosphere is where we fly our planes, get around the world, and then we go up and up and up, and then we get into the ozone layer, a very highly charged electrical environment. The mesosphere is still the outer layers of the ozone layer, very highly charged. And all this area here is very highly charged. So that's outside of the planet technically, but still the planet. And so we can get all kinds of ionic exchange of different atomic atoms, the different atoms, I beg your pardon, that's reduced. They get ionic exchange of charged particles of the atoms of hydrogen, oxygen, mainly. And it can form a lot of water just outside the planet, you see. And it can rain down in biblical proportions. And what I'm showing there is the Van Allen belts are significantly weaker because the Earth's north and south pole are indeed moving to meet at the Bay of Bengal, and then the Bay of Bengal and Peru are going to become the north and south pole, and Antarctica will become lodged on the equator due to centrifugal force, with magnet and crust dislodged due to electromagnetic coupling. There's a hell of a lot more mass in Antarctica than there is anywhere else in the world. Centrifugal force dictates that it will end up back on the equator, because apparently we know there's already been there. And so then the coupling will exchange. Either way, we've got Antarctica, sorry, we've got Bay of Bengal and Peru will become the north and south pole. And we don't know which one's going to be which. Well, I don't. Maybe Ben Davidson does know by now. And then we're also going to be heading into a pretty gloomy, dark ice age as well. That's probably only going to last about 8, 10, 12 years, you see, and it has to sort of be coming to an end, you see, by the mid to late 2040s kind of thing. And the reason that it can say something like that is because that Neptune, in May, the year before last, so we're getting like nearly 18 months ago, well, nearly 2 years ago, in fact, now, because it's the end of March now, so, yeah, it's nearly 2 years ago, that on Neptune, cyclones just started forming suddenly from one day to the next. They started forming and travelling across the oceans on the opposite way that they were, the opposite direction. There's only one thing that can make that happen, and that is reversing of the polarity of the planet. So that kind of dictates that that's what's going on in the outer planets. And, you know, we're a little bit overdue by certain measures that should be happening kind of already, you see. So how much time do we really have? So finish it off with don't be afraid, keep your eyes open, be aware, really live. Don't be afraid, don't live in fear, live in love. And may the power and grace of Christ be with you. That's enough for now. Have that one for free. Cheerio.